The cemetery fell silent except for the slow, heavy rustle of the flag in the wind. Then came the shouting, sharp, commanding, cruel. Two officers stormed toward the gravesite, guns drawn, yelling at a tall black woman in dress uniform. She didn't move. Her gloved hands lifted slowly, steady as stone. A folded flag lay at her feet. Her name tag caught the sunlight. The crowd stared. Then a whisper cut through the confusion. "Wait, that's General Olivia Cole." And just like that, a funeral became front-page history. The morning had begun in solemn silence. Gray clouds hung low over Arlington Hills National Cemetery, the air thick with reverence and rain. Rows of soldiers stood at perfect attention, the white gloves on their hands trembling slightly in the chill. At the center of it all stood General Olivia Cole, tall, dignified, and unyielding. Her medals gleamed against the dark fabric of her uniform, a quiet testament to 25 years of service. But her eyes told another story, one of loss. Today, she wasn't the four-star general, the strategist, the symbol of power. Today, she was simply a woman saying goodbye. The casket before her belonged to Captain Elias Ward, a soldier she had trained since he was barely 21. He was brave, brilliant, and loyal, the kind of soldier who made others better. When his convoy was ambushed overseas, Olivia took the call herself. She didn't flinch. But since that day, she hadn't smiled. As the bugle began to play, she stepped forward, kneeling slightly to hand a folded flag to Elias's mother. "On behalf of a grateful nation," she whispered. Her voice didn't break, but her hand lingered a moment too long. It was supposed to be sacred, quiet, untouched, until two voices tore through the stillness. "Hey, step away from the family! Hands where we can see them!" Heads turned. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The soldiers stiffened, unsure of what they were seeing. Two uniformed police officers, Harris and Duffy, sprinted across the grass, hands already on their weapons. They had received a tip, a description of a suspect impersonating military personnel to scam grieving families. But what they saw wasn't a scammer. It was a general standing tall beside a flag-draped coffin. Still, they didn't hesitate. "Ma'am, drop the act," one barked. "You're under arrest for impersonating a U.S. officer." A collective gasp. An elderly veteran shouted, "Do you have any idea who you're talking to?" They ignored him. The other officer grabbed her by the arm. Her cap slipped, tumbling across the wet grass. The young cadet beside her stepped forward. "Sir, that's General." But Cole gave him a subtle shake of the head. She didn't need chaos. She wanted clarity. The crowd started recording. Phones flashed. Cameras zoomed in. Every second was being captured. Through it all, General Cole stood perfectly still. Silent, calm, and composed. Her back straight despite the hands shoving at her shoulder. She looked at the folded flag on the ground, at the crying mother beside the casket, and only then did her voice cut through the air. Low even, commanding. "You have no idea what you're doing." The officers froze briefly. But arrogance is louder than doubt. "Quiet," one snapped. "You're going to jail. You'll have plenty of time to talk there." If you're still watching this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Because what's about to happen next will change everything. General Cole exhaled once, a single steady breath. Then she moved slowly, carefully, reaching into the inner pocket of her uniform jacket. "Don't move!" They shouted again, weapons raised. But she didn't flinch. Every camera caught the moment her gloved fingers pulled out a slim black case. She flipped it open. The golden eagle of the United States Army Command Seal gleamed beneath the sunlight. Beneath it, Olivia M. Cole, General Chief of Defense Command. The cemetery fell utterly silent. One of the veterans gasped. A young soldier whispered, "Oh my God." The officers' faces drained of color. Their hands, still gripping their guns, began to tremble. For the first time, they saw not a suspect, but authority incarnate. General Cole's tone dropped to ice. "You aimed loaded weapons at at a funeral, on federal ground." She lifted her phone. "One tap, one number." "This is General Cole," she said evenly. "I need to report an incident. Two local officers threatening a commanding officer in uniform." "Yes, I'll hold." The line clicked. Then a calm, cold voice answered, "General Monroe speaking. We've already seen the footage, ma'am. We're dispatching military police." Stand by. When Cole ended the call, she didn't need to say another word. The sound of approaching sirens carried the message for her. The officers stepped back slowly, lowering their weapons. Faces pale, hearts pounding. The crowd parted like the Red Sea as the military police arrived. Olivia Cole didn't raise her voice. She didn't gloat. She just turned back toward the casket, straightened her cap, and saluted her fallen soldier. It was the most powerful silence anyone there had ever heard. They thought they were enforcing the law, but in that graveyard, surrounded by heroes, they learned what real authority looks like, because that day, they didn't just draw guns on a black woman in uniform. They drew them on a living symbol of the nation they swore to serve.